Hey, welcome back. Let's dive into explaining our senses, and we'll start with the sense of sight. I think that by far we're mostly affected by that sense. And unfortunately also, it is one of the most deceiving senses. We can totally shift our lives to the wrong direction based on interpretations and signals of that sense. So, what is the sense of sight? In essence, sight receptors or photoreceptors are rods and cones located in the retina. The rods detect light sensitivity and intensity, black and white, and work well with low light. And the cones detect color and fine details, functioning best in bright light. These cells turn the light into tiny electrical signals. The signals travel through other eye cells to the optic nerve, and the optic nerve sends them to the brain. Our brain then puts the signal together into an electric image to see shapes, colors, and movements. So let's talk about the limitation of the sight. Here are the main limitations of the sight receptors. The first one is they just cannot detect infrared or ultraviolet light. In fact, the visible detection, which is 380 to 750 nanometers, is only 0.001% of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. Let's repeat that again. What we see is only 0.001% of the entire spectrum known to us. So it means that what we see when our sight is unblocked is only a tiny fraction of what is happening around us. And thank God for that, because could you imagine what would happen in our mind if we could see the entire electromagnetic spectrum around us? The second limitation is the limited field of view and the resolution. Actually, we can see as far as 3 miles away in a very good clear day. The third limitation is that our sensors are susceptible to delusions and optical fatigue. All of us are aware of different optical illusions such as perspective, mirage on a hot day, looming, where objects seem much closer than they really are. Now, this is not a course in human biology or optics. I'm just touching a small glimpse of what the limitations are in the environment around us that distorts the signal that is being recepted by our eyes. Then there's the entire area of image processing by our mind, where our brain can completely misinterpret images received by our senses. So let's draw some basic conclusions from this learning. The first conclusion is that we see an extremely small portion of what is around us. And even that, it has limitations due to our own senses and our own surrounding. The second one is what we imagine as reality, as an image processed by our mind of the electrical signal converted to an image. That is not what it is really out there. The third conclusion is that we all see differently the same signals. And the last one is that there are a lot of images that are misinterpreted in our mind that are not really there. This logical trail is here just to make you really doubt what you see and not take everything that you see for granted, because what you see is your subjective interpretation of electromagnetic signals in the air. What you see is not the absolute truth at all. It's very partial and it's very subjective. Try to always remember it's just an interpretation of your own subjective mind. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about the internal meaning of the sense of sight. Bye for now, and I'll see you guys soon.